How is it done? If you're like me, you probably watched this video and wondered how are they doing all these moves pretty fast. How do you start from this shape and wind up with this? All right, this is on a MacBook with the trackpad. You can see the keystrokes there. We're going to start with a rectangular cuboid, and we're just going to extrude it up. Then use scale to scale it in the x-axis. To create that first scalloped detail on the bottom, select the edge, apply a chamfer, and then limit it by pressing L. And this is one of the primary shapes. You can make it shallower by selecting the edge and moving it up. If this is available, not always available, it's easy. The other thing you can do is select the face and move it in and out. And finally, you can select the face and rotate it, selecting the bottom edge as the pivot by pressing V. You'll see that a lot. All right, here I'm just going to move it up since it's available. To create that scalloped point detail at the end, you have to select this inner edge and then fillet it. Don't worry if it goes off to the end like this. Once you're done, you can select the edge and move it in like that. We want it to be a little longer, so we can scale it by selecting the face, the edge is the pivot point, and then making it longer. All right, almost there. You'll notice that this is one continuous face rather than two, so we're going to select both faces and press J to join them. Now we can start in on that angled panel detail. I'm going to press Control R to insert some isoparams and tab to tab between the directions of them. Now we're going to angle this face in by selecting it, pressing V to select the end point as the pivot, the end edge, and we just want to put it in slightly. I'm going to use numeric input here. I think I used 4 degrees. Great, you'll notice though that now our little scalloped curve has been compromised. It's got a point in the middle of it. To smooth that out, select the edge and fillet it. You can't scroll off screen, so if you need a really big fillet, you either got to keep scrolling or you can just enter it numerically like this. Now we're going to create an edge, a line from the middle of that point out into space and then imprint it. To imprint, I like to move it out of the way and then imprint so that you can see that the curve actually got imprinted. It's great for these videos too. All right, delete the line. Now we're going to go ahead and delete. Actually, we'll keep these lines around because they're useful. Otherwise, it kind of looks like it's not empty. All right, select these faces and delete them. To delete them, normally you press X, but here you have to press Shift X, and that dissolves them rather than trying to delete the face, which sometimes doesn't work. Now we have this empty space inside, and the last job is to create that curved transition. Here I'm going to use numeric input. I can see that it's 1.09 inches. And this is the key moment in the video. You want to use this feature called Extend Sheet. So select the edge and then extend the sheet outward. I'm going to use the same amount, 1.09. You can see what it does is it creates a planar extension of that face rather than trying to blend it with any near surfaces. You can delete these lines, these edges, and then now we're going to use bridge curve. And the reason, again, we use that numeric input is to get this smooth normalized curve. Looks like G2 here is going to work pretty well. Great. And then just like before, we're going to move it out, imprint it, and then delete the face that imprint created. All right, we're getting there. Last job is going to be to create that curve on the end and then create the surface patch. That thing. All right, so to do that, we're going to select these two edges and try to bridge them. As you can see, it's not always successful. An easier way to do it is to try from one end to the other. Also not successful. What I wound up doing is you can select the edges and duplicate them. Then go ahead and hide the box that they came from. This makes it really easy to see. Now when you bridge, it really knows what to do. Just have to select the right continuities to create the curve that we want. There we go. Commit that. Then we can delete. We can show the box again and delete the edges we don't need. In this case, that vertical edge. All right, and then we're going to extend sheet again. This is one of the parts in the video that, unless you know that this function exists, it's hard to figure out. Extend it out past the curve that you're going to imprint. And then again, we're going to select the edge, move it out, imprint it. And now we can select this face and delete it. We're almost home. All that's left to do now. I don't know why I chose to clean up the curves at this point. You can do it whenever you want. These are all the stray curves or edges left by the imprint procedures. Option, click to select the whole edge, and then patch hole, which I believe is Shift J. And then we just want those two bottom ones to have G1 continuity. Let's see how we did. We can use various matte caps. Looks pretty smooth. This one to see the U or the V. This one to see the U or the V. You can see that the surface is pretty smooth in that little pocket panel we created. All right. Final thing is to create this detail. I'll just leave the video on from here. This is pretty basic. If you can do all the previous steps, you should be able to do all this stuff.